Welcome back to Napoleon Total War with the Great War mod. We're playing as Soviet Russia. And, yes, last time around we took Riga, the Estonian-Livonian region, from the Latvians. We're gonna move down and we're gonna attack their capital in Mitau, Latvia. It's a pretty big army, but I have confidence in my troops to achieve that. Also, right now it's early winter 1918. Hopefully, winter will subside pretty soon so we can take more drastic actions against the White Russians and retake Smolensk and move some of those troop formations forward. I have a pretty sizable force of Patriotic Levy situated in Moscow. I've also been moving, like the general is moving down, and I've also been moving these guys, jumping from this supply base here and then on to the village of Novgorod. Is it called? Yeah, Novgorod. And here's the town of Novgorod. There's two Novgorods. So jumping from here to avoid being depleted. We're gonna recruit more troops throughout. One thing though that I did note, that I was actually running low on funds. I was overspending, so what we did was we raised taxes for the middle class, which I think it is starting to drain region wealth. So the overall wealth is being lost. So in the long run, we're actually gonna reduce the amount of money we make. Maybe I should actually instead just go ahead and delete some of our navy instead. However, I was making 500 minus. I would have to delete some substantial ships, and it might be better to try and protect a little bit, at least, our trade routes. Now they're already blocked, as we noted in a previous episode. The only trade that is going through is the ones going to Portugal and the ones going to Spain. All other trade to Italy, Romania, France and Great Britain are all blocked. Surprised that the... Ah yeah, because Romania, the trade to Romania is actually brought not by land, but all the way around like that. All the way around through the Mediterranean and then to Romania. Through the port here, since the Romanians took over Constantinople. Looks like they're not being able to keep that under wraps, so the Ottomans are most likely going to take that back. Which is a problem for the Romanians, because they've spent a lot of effort trying to take that, and the Ottomans have a strong force that kind of moved through here, and I imagine are here, poised to actually attack the capital. But that's for international news. With taking this, I'm hoping also I can get my generals back in order. We can actually get them to the centers and actually lead our armies against our enemies. And we can see about retaking all of Russia. With all of that said, we're going to take this entire army and... we're gonna march, and we're gonna take this. Even if... oh, this actually holds, even with me increasing tax. It actually holds. We hold control over it. The enemy has 4,000 men, 1 machine gun. We have 2,000 men, 2 machine guns and artillery. I think we have the upper hand, just because we have 2 machine guns and artillery. There's no sneaky reinforcements that the Latvians gonna send in. Oh no, that was the Lithuanians, right? Against the Austrians. But looks like a good fight, so let's go ahead and fight it, shall we? Pretty straightforward plan. What we're gonna do is we're gonna use the artillery to force the enemy to come to us. As they do, they're gonna advance into machine gun range. We have hidden one group here at the edge of the forest. As the enemy approaches, we'll open up and murder them en masse, and same on this side. The thing is to keep an eye out for the enemy machine gun. Once it is spotted, we need to target it with an artillery. With that said, we're gonna go ahead and start. This machine gun is gonna be rolled forward over here. Gonna advance the infantry. And we're gonna advance the partisans to cover the territory. We have a lot. Wow, the machine guns should handle it, but maybe no. We'll keep these guys as kind of a reserve behind the main line. Right now, the enemy don't seem to realize the predicament they're in. I could use my cavalry to kind of find out where the enemy has stationed the machine gun and take it out. Or we could try to snipe the general. Now he's actually out of range. If I aim for the cavalry, that should trigger them. It usually does. We're gonna get our cavalry to try and figure out where the enemy enemy units are hiding. While we do that, we're gonna bombard. Jeez, we managed to do quite a dent in this formation right here. Just with explosive shot, taking out 140 men. That's pretty darn good. We're not doing nearly as well against the cavalry. But it is at the very end of where our shots can land, so it might be actually better to aim for this guy right here. I imagine the machine gun is actually situated right there. Thing is, as soon as we come within range with these small cavalry units, the revolutionary cavalry is a lot slower than the hussars, so we might just use the hussars instead, just because they're so much faster. You can see, maybe what if I just tell them to fire at the ground here. Maybe I will. Oh, it's the armed citizenry is hiding here, or the what's it called? The home guard units. They are hiding here. I think this is the home guard unit. So it's not actually the machine gun. The machine gun is somewhere else then. We're blowing them up from hiding there in the forest. Since we were doing so well, let's just keep firing at the regiments. Let's see if we can't provoke some kind of reaction out of the enemy. Otherwise, I mean, there's nothing that says that I cannot advance my machine guns up to the point where we can start just strafing the line. It's probably the best to attack roughly around here. Okay, now we trigger the cavalry to move up. Let's try not to get murdered. Most of those shots, I imagine, are going to be soaked up by the forest, so now they are actually sending up quite a big part of their right flank. So it's the home guard, and then there's 3 units of dragoons actually chasing us right back to where we have the machine guns set up. It's going to be able to fire out here somewhere. Be able to target the enemy. Let's make sure that the enemy keeps moving here by targeting them with artillery. We've done great work with these two, so we could definitely attack from there to break them up. Let's see if they want to get closer, so I can actually tell the machine gun to open fire on them. My artillery is targeting them right now. Let's lure them in quite far. Let them come through the forest before we open fire. And apparently I forgot to go AFK. Time to open fire. Our dragoons are firing. Probably also means that the enemy can fire back. Why are you not... Open full-fledged fire, you damn monkeys. Oh, they need to turn the entire machine gun grouping to put down sufficient fire. Now we're doing some damage. Let's target the other Dragoon unit as well. They're firing at our Dragoons. Damn, look at that, just tearing up the line. The unit just melts away. I was hoping that all advance in a big line and we would murder them out there, but clearly not. Right, let's start the advance. And let's see when we can actually... it's gonna be a little bit different to advance here though. Maybe something like that. And then the Patriotic Levy. The infantry and so on. And let's come back when we're actually ready to attack. I've ordered my cavalry to move in for the attack against the enemy Dragoons. I imagine they're gonna shoot down a lot of their own in the approach. Boom! I ordered the artillery to actually fire at the back of the unit on the ground, so we get better actually shots. A bloody home guard was hiding behind there as well. They probably shot a lot of their own cavalry units there. Go ahead and advance. Home guard getting blown to shit. Oh, they're charging us? Oh shit, artillery hold fire because you're hitting one of our own units. Hold fire and charge. The machine guns have ended up quite far behind the line. Let's go ahead and rectify this. And then we'll put these guys back here in the forest. This machine gun should... Ah, there's the enemy machine gun. This machine gun is almost within range to start firing. We're gonna get it to that point right there. This unit will be situated there on the side. And then this one, we should actually make room for it about here. We'll make room for it and we'll put the machine gun right there, and as soon as it's ready it will open fire. Cavalry force is definitely spent at this point. We'll tell the artillery to fire at will. Is that able to... Is that outranging my partisans? Do they have more... They have bigger range? Bigger range. Longer range. It is being targeted, I'm pretty sure, by my artillery. Yes. The old compact formation is getting blown the unit to pieces. And now it's being targeted by two of the partisans' units. The machine guns are going to get in place. The ones on the right are going to get in place first. Oh, the enemy machine gun is actually moving up, firing at our unit. However, you can see all the bullets landing in front of the unit, not actually hitting it. That's actually kind of a bad spot for this one. Just because if a unit kind of moves here, it will fire through this partisan unit. I guess what I'll do is start off by telling my machine guns to fire at their machine guns, and within seconds we destroy their machine gun. Hold fire. And then repick target. You will move up to support. And now this machine gun is opening fire. Cutting down the Latvian troops, sending them away. And we started firing over here. What I'll do is we'll end this as quickly as possible by targeting the enemy general with the machine gun fire. But the patriotic levy should be enough to take down the dragoons as they approach. Otherwise I could just redirect the... They fired a heavy volley, but no one was actually killed. Okay, turn your attention over to the dragoons. The units over here are getting killed. Very good. All the partisans, I will shrink the unit kinda and then move forward. Destroying the enemy. We'll move the machine guns up there. Slightly flank the position. Get the infantry into the forest. Let's get the last cavalry unit and make sure that we can move freely on the right flank. Tremendous fire is going down through the center. And we've actually lost quite a few partisans, or at least in the advance. Enemy cavalry unit sufficiently destroyed. Patriotic levy can now advance. Some of the units here in the center are suffering quite heavy casualties, but I can replace them if I want with the revolutionary soldiers that are moving in. We'll be able to send them in and replace them if the partisans give way. This one's down to 58 men. It's coming under such heavy fire. Actually, all these 3 units need to pull back. And I need to support this area with artillery fire. And we're gonna get the 2 infantry units to take a position there. The machine gun will be too late to actually be moved into action. What we'll do is we'll take these 3. We'll place them like so, and then these guys will be placed like so. We'll continue to move the machine gun. The machine gun over here should target this unit right over there. And the artillery can target that unit right there. Reorganization of the front line works just fine. And I think we'll be able to win this battle in no time. No, the patriotic levy has lost their banner. But they did kind of break up. I think the machine gun did that. Aim for the last strong unit. If we concentrate fire on that, destroy it, then I'm sure the rest of the enemy force is gonna crumble. Right now it's receiving machine gun fire and heavy artillery fire. Being torn up to shreds. And it's now falling back. Most units are falling back. It's only that unit right there. Targeted with artillery, and we are victorious. No surprise. Not entirely sure why the enemy has been so reluctant to it. Well, I can understand why they don't want to attack, because we've got all the machine guns trained at them. Who would want to attack when something like that is coming up against, or you're coming up against something like that? But yeah, we were victorious, and we'll see where we move next. Because now we need to kind of recuperate and see if we can just wait out winter before we advance any further. I think next move would probably be try to reclaim Smolensk rather than moving down in sort of the down the Baltic states. Although we have basically taken all of them. Here's the results of the battle. We lost 790 men compared to the enemy, which lost 4,000. Highest kills, machine guns, no surprise there, followed by howitzer and then machine gun again. We're not gonna liberate a country, we're gonna unite all the workers under one banner. Gonna go ahead and repair that. We can recruit sailors here right now. The factory over here needs to be rebuilt. But you can see, because of the amount of time I just spent on building up the infrastructure in this region, or in all of Russia, everything's like the very latest. And now my generals can move to safety. And we can get this guy as well. So all those generals are moving to safety, that's great. At some point also we're gonna have, I think the Polish are gonna get overrun by the Austrians and the Germans, so I don't need, but otherwise I could probably go ahead and declare war on them. Interesting there's such a high percentage of Protestantism in Poland, with only 15% Catholic. What is there to do? Nothing but end turn. Wait, did that change? Maybe I'm able to... Actually, we lost money, seemingly. I think we were gaining a lot more before. We also need to deal with a white army that's moved through here. Also, I gained this graphical glitch where their white banner disappear. Let's make it harder to spot them. But we'll definitely have to deal with them somehow at some point, because they're burning the factory and now they're moving to burn the town up here, the city. The city of Yaroslav. Trying to burn that. Not great. But with that said, let's go ahead and end turn, shall we? Just developed the submachine gun. And we've got a researcher in Moscow. That's good. Path blocked. Lots of units recruited. Red Order of the Red Banner in Moscow. A lot of units actually in Moscow. Winter attrition. Taking stolen Soman troops. Looks like the whites are actually moving back to the factory at Ryazan. What I want to do is, do we have... Let's remove some of the patriotic troops, just so we can get some room for our assault battalions. It's gonna get some room for the general. And then we've got 2 extra units that we need room for later on. Can I bring... Cavalry can join, 3 units of cavalry. The machine gun. And the revolution... All units can actually join there, so that's another 4-ish units. Now I can actually join, so 3 cavalry, 1 machine gun, and the revolutionary soldier. I bet the cavalry can move through. For some reason only the machine gun suffers attrition, which seems odd. But we'll be able to get that, and we'll hopefully move to destroy them pretty darn soon. These units will do the next jump. Oh, they'll actually spend some time out in the winter, but yeah, we need to move. We need to move. The workers' revolution cannot wait. The barrier troops, we want to start moving them. What am I going to use as? Where do we have our own reserve battalions? The Red Guards. We'll have them to... oh yes, the sailors need to start moving, so we need to move them over to there. Partisans. We'll move them forward. And instead replace the troops to hold the city in place by the Red Guard. And then what units? The Red Order was here. They can move forward. So Red Order can move all the way down to Riga, where there's some red infantry battalions. We'll get more of those. I cannot recruit anything here as of yet. The Latvian army should be able to go ahead and take out the Lithuanian one. Plus the artillery there, boom. Victory. But we need to kind of move into city to avoid... This one does not actually suffer attrition, so why don't you just move someone like over to the bridge. And then you can move in through there. So then we'll be able to take on Lithuania. Thing is, they've got nothing here as my aircraft is reporting, but we cannot really start moving until we've dealt with the White Force. Which, if I remove the cavalry, and if I remove the general, we can actually make it to Boris and take him out. We'll suffer winter attrition though, and be a hell of a battle. Let's do it. I don't want them to burn my factory once more. We are in control of the means of production, not you. That means we also need to protect it. Let's go ahead and attack, shall we? I'm being a little bit sneaky. We've placed the Grenadier Regiment, the Assault Battalion, up close. And it's gonna try to assassinate the enemy general in the Dragoon units over there. And hopefully get reinforcement before they get overrun. So we've got massive amounts of these patriotic levy units ready to charge up. And then we've got the Red Guard, the Order of the Red Banner, ready to march up on the right to support the Grenadiers. With that said, let's go ahead and start. And first I just need these guys to charge up against the enemy before we go ahead and take a closer look at what goes on here. So we've got these Grenadier units. Not actually a super great position for them to hold. They aren't losing any troops though. We'll advance. Oh, there's a lot of crazy impossible terrain over here. We'll start by advancing the 7th Grenadiers, and then the 6th will actually move to a much better position where they can better target the enemy cavalry. We're not within grenade throwing distance. Maybe this one will be actually be. No, it's just out of range. Might just be as well. We'll probably do better just shooting the enemy down. So the white movement units getting shot down. Wait, are they speaking French? I thought it sounded like he spoke French. But I'm not entirely sure. It might have been my mistake not hearing that right. I'm surprised the officer hasn't died. There he goes. Bye bye, Boris. just in time when Boris dies, it looks like the entire White Army is kind of moving up. We'll get the Order of the Red Banner to take over the position here, and the Grenadiers will kind of take a back seat to the fighting. And then the Patriotic Levy needs to hold its position, because enemy cavalry is closing in, or the enemy units are advancing on us now. Right, run to your positions. There's no way that Dragoon unit is gonna do well in this environment right here. You know what? Let's advance these two. And while they're being covered, we'll get these guys over there. We'll get these two in a better position there. They will advance here. Order of the Red Banner is slaughtering the Dragoons on that side, and they're done, so they will charge up the Grenadiers. Move down towards the house here. What we'll do is we'll have them on grenades. What I'm planning to do here is actually bayonet charge the enemy up the flank, while the rest of the units follow and envelop the enemy. But on this side, we'll keep firing at will. The white guys are actually shooting back. The white guys. The white movement is actually doing quite a number on us over here. However, the Order of the Red Banner is definitely going to change the tide over that, on that side. Gonna charge forward. Let's get into the trees, actually. And these guys get even closer. Now, I kind of want the Grenadiers to get in there to throw grenades. So we're gonna advance through that, and we're gonna tell this guy to hold fire. And here comes the bayonet charge. Hopefully we'll be overwhelming these guys just with the sheer number of troops attacking over here. But damn, the enemy is putting down a lot of fire. Getting the Grenadiers forward with kind of depression in the ground there that we can use. They're pulling back to try and avoid getting completely overrun. The enemy were able to do quite the number on us. Continue to advance. Wait, they're definitely speaking French for some reason. Yeah, that's French. Odd. Where are you guys going? Are they gonna retreat off the map? They're gonna try and save this force by retreating off the map. We need to keep after them. What we'll do here is we'll move there and tell them to fire at will. You will keep marching. These guys need to keep marching. These guys can still fire as the enemy falls back. I don't think I will catch them with my Grenadiers. They just got too much of a head start. Situate yourself right there and shoot them down. Now I wish I'd had cavalry, so I can actually chase them down. But the enemy is... the AI is clever enough that they're realizing this is not a winning fight, so they're trying to get away. Thing, of course, is they're in the Moscow region. probably the hardest region to move through unless you control the roads. And they're on the wrong side. So I guess they're running to Siberia. Which is perfect, because we're building some re-education camps out there. I don't know if you heard it, but we've got this new concept of re-education camps. You do some hard labor, you read some Bolshevik literature, and it will all work out just fine. So far, we've only had about a 50% casualty rate in the re-education program. But according to that's kind of part of the charm. Anyways, they're about to flee the field, and there's nothing I can do to stop them. More or less. Actually, the Order of the Red Banner can actually hold them fire over there. This one might actually be able to... No, it's firing into the ground. They're able to escape. They're leaving. And unfortunately, we didn't get them this time. We didn't get them this time around, boys. We'll get them the next time. Problem here is, of course, we didn't achieve our goal of killing them off, and now we're stuck out here in winter without proper supplies, so we'll suffer attrition. Could halt our... Well, the thing is, halt our advance on Smolensk. There is nothing in Smolensk, so I could send a single cavalry unit to capture it, more or less. But here we got that extra battle. Let's go ahead and go back to the campaign map and end this video. Here we got the result of that battle. Boris lost 1,200 men. We lost 800. Probably would have gone better if I didn't bayonet charge, but then again, it looked glorious, so we're that's how we do it. Highest amount of kills goes to the Red Banner, followed by the Assault Battalion, and then we've got one Patriotic Levy. Highest losses go to Patriotic Levy, no surprise there, but these units are the biggest in the game, 360. While the normal size is about 240 and small size 120. Oh, we even get a commemorative plaque. We can't chase after them. No unit gets close, unfortunately. So we'll have to take some attrition there. But we get on a plaque. Get a little statue here, January 1918, Battle of Ryazan, where we defeated the White Movement going in to seize the means of production. Clearly, though, they burnt it, so clearly it's not meant to be in their hands. It's meant to be in ours because they cannot handle. Also, yeah, it denies us heavy artillery from being recruited in this region, which is bad. Ooh, now the SMG units. We definitely need some of those, but six turns to make them. Can I make them somewhere else? SMG takes 4 turns here, which I think is the more... Yeah, it's the normal ones. We'll get a lot... I'm getting a lot more troops all over the place, and hopefully we'll be able to sweep through for the glory of the workers' revolution. With that said, we're going to end the video right here. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.